What if improving your customers' buying experience didn't just reduce friction, it actually doubled their sales with you? And what happens when your fulfillment system is so fast you have to slow it down? Well, on today's show, we're exploring how Cutter & Buck is using both digital and physical automation plus AI to scale smarter and faster. Welcome to the SKUcast, the podcast for innovators and maverick thinkers in the promotional product space. My name is Bobby Lehue. I'm glad you're here. Our guest today, Joel Freet, started as an intern in the tournament division back in 1999 and became the CEO in 2014 to lead Cutter & Buck to become one of the industry's leading suppliers. Today, we talk with Joel about the compounding impact of EPO adoption across their customer base, how AI is being used for everything from inventory forecasting to product content refreshes, and Joel shares a story about how they had to slow down their fulfillment time because it was too fast. Today's episode is brought to you courtesy of us at commonsku. Over 900 distributors powering 1.8 billion in network volume rely on commonsku's connected workflow. Process more orders, connect your team, and dramatically grow your sales. To learn more, visit commonsku.com. Now, here's my chat with Cutter & Buck's Joel Freet. Welcome to the SKUcast. I am so glad you are back, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. It's great to be back. Great to be seen. I'm still here.
We don't see you as much, but I know you're out there a lot. So glad to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you don't do this a lot, so this is fun to do. And we're going to catch up with a lot of things, but before, maybe there's some new listeners, and for those that are new, can you explain briefly the corporate and retail side of Cutter & Buck?
Sure. The basic thing is we do both. We do both corporate and retail. Cutter & Buck was founded as a retail company making super high quality sportswear in 1989. We've been doing that ever since. We've been in the corporate space since the late 90s, and we just love it. It's just an awesome space for us in corporate, allows us to get our brand out there for a lot more fans. That's really what it is. And the retail business, no matter what we do, I think I told you this last time, Bobby, but it stays true. No matter what we do, they both grow together. And we just kind of never break through 50-50. It's 51-49 or 48-52 or back to 50-50. They really grow in lockstep. And so far this year, corporate's really strong. Retail's a little softer. We're making a little bit more ground in corporate. But the holiday season is upon us. Is right around the corner.
Right, it's coming.
And who knows? Like we'll slap back into 50-50. So, we do both businesses and lots of different channels in each.
I love how last time we were talking, you said the intelligence from each side also helps each other as well. Like one of the things that really surprised me, because you're the first person ever to say this, you're actually getting trending insights from the corporate side, whereas we're always used to that coming from retail. So that was real fascinating. How has digital transformation impacted how you've seen both now program business or corporate business and consumer business running parallel, and you're big in tech and automation. So how have you scaled those simultaneously?
Really, we've invested in the core infrastructure for order fulfillment and order processing. We just keep investing in that, try to be best in the world at that, to be the best sportswear supplier that we can be. Since we talked last, we opened a really huge improvement to our fulfillment center here in Seattle with a big investment with AutoStore, where we invested in a fulfillment engine that it just delivers products directly to our people and makes it really easy to pick orders. And so we've gone from really a couple hours or maybe a couple of days of work in process that we have to now down to minutes. And so our work in process is really small now, so that orders that are placed online through cbcorporate.com or from an EDI partner or a connected partner through commonsku or promo standards, they're ready to go out the door like in minutes. And so we're picking and packing orders really fast. If they're going into decoration, they're getting into decoration really fast. And it enables us to schedule our orders really well. So we're able to get more and more efficiency with decorated orders. So that's enabled us to take a tool or a business that we've really grown in retail the last several years. Last time we talked, I was like, hey, when is corporate going to kind of wake up to this thing? So now it's enabled us to have this intense speed so that we can do single unit orders bulked together or batched together, as we might say, and delivered out to end users or to company employees that are in their own homes or whatever location they're at. So really it's taking that drop ship capability that we have in retail and just putting that right into the corporate space. And the distributors and partners who are aligned with that, they're just killing it. They're just absolutely crushing it now. like in retail where we have this, really it comes down to even the retailers having a hard time like figuring out how to account for it. Here we have, they're just getting profit. They never have to touch the goods.
Wow,
Something
that's
that our
amazing.
distributor is a little bit more used to, of just, hey, it's just going direct from the supplier. But that's been really potent for us. So our capability to do it has been there for several years, but now our efficiency of doing it is at the world-class level. And so we're really proud of what we've been able to build, and it's going great.
That's amazing. I want to talk about the digital side and the physical side, but first on the digital side, we just at commonsku, which just reported this morning, we just had our biggest month of EPOs ever.
Wow.
So to see that kind of traction in the business is pretty astounding. And obviously now Cutter and Buck is a Connected Plus supplier. How do you see that even changing? Yeah, like where you were to where you are now has really changed the speed. How do you see this even changing further down the road?
It just opens up the resources to have us all stop working on order processing, baloney, and getting to adding value in the value chain. Chasing down paper, making corrections on POs, all of those things that add up, checking stock and, the stock's not here because it was sent in a non-integrated way. Whatever that might be, it's freeing up our brains to be like, okay, now we're not doing that anymore. Now, how can we help our customers really thrive? And that's where the change is, that it really just takes away the easy but hard work that gets to be a distraction and allows us to really focus. Like every month is our best integrated month ever. Every month. And it's been like, I don't know, 75 straight months or something. Every single month, our business keeps increasing in some form of integrated orders. Promo standards has been huge. CB corporate, lots of EDI connected customers as well. Just every month it keeps distorting. And what we're finding, and I think you guys are seeing the same on your EPOs and how you're seeing it, is that whatever the number of engaged customers is, the number of orders coming from them is about double that percentage. This is what we're seeing. If we have 5% more customers placing orders through a digital path, we're getting 10% more orders. So it's the leverage is there. So that just keeps signaling to us that the less time you spend on just the shuffling of the paper, the more time people spend doing business. And so you get more orders. Everybody wins.
It's so amazing. The math checks out. What is also interesting to me is how, in just the intangible part, the halo effect around the relationship between the distributor and supplier just gets better. Even just that, I mean, we can all measure the tactical things, and that's a huge gain in efficiencies and profit and where you can focus your energy, but just the emotional gain of being able to work with your customer on a different level, on a creative level, more so than just a tactical level, is fantastic. Catherine and Dave visited your facility, and they were really blown away by your robotics system. We have some video we'll play for those that are tuning into the video. What role does this play in your fulfillment process? We talked about digital automation. So what have you done at Cutter and Buck with the robotics?
It's enabled our people just to be much more efficient. It's safer. The people, everyone doesn't have to basically, this is going to be an exaggeration, but run around so much. People are at these nice stations where they're just packing orders, or they're sending orders over to embroidery. It's very calm. It's super quiet. It's peaceful. There's just really, it just enables the automation gain that we've had in that operation side has just enabled a better work experience for our folks. And they're processing orders so much faster without feeling like you're working harder. Isn't that the dream of automation? Is that you're going faster while feeling like it's easier. And so that again just enables us to keep that work in process really short so that we can use our space wisely. The rent is very high where we are up here in Seattle. It's an expensive place to do business. So we like to be nice and dense. So just not having, even as much as not having to have as much, work in process materials, it just makes our decoration operations from there run a whole lot smoother. In fact, Bobby, this is maybe a trick that the team heard here, was that we actually have to slow down a little bit because oftentimes people have some kind of order change or something. They're like, hey, oh shoot, I entered I did 24 larges instead of 24 extra larges, whatever. And it's, oh shoot, sorry, it's already in the truck. And
this is a great problem.
It can't be in the truck because I just entered it. It's like, yeah, it's in the truck. So those things, we do throttle it a little bit because it just enables our packages and everything just to move through
astounding.
Quite quickly. So so we had a timing set where it went from 6 minutes from order entry to in the truck. And we just found out it was like too fast. People were like, it's jarring. It's jarring to have this happen so quickly.
Wow, that's
So
amazing. What a change. And you have distributions all over. You're also expanding some of your decoration capabilities, if I understand it right.
yeah, we've added more heat transfer. That's been a big one. But the really big change has been partnering with ShareShip, what we call ShareShip, or with a network of really strong decorators across the country from our
Yeah.
multiple distribution points. That's been a huge leverage point for us, is to find great decorators that have all the business already. Maybe they're doing program business or what have you. And that's just where it feels like it's decorated from us, but it's just because it's just so smooth. And that's, we're
That's
getting the
cool.
orders out to them daily from here in Seattle or in Cincinnati, where we have our other distribution operation. And it's just getting to those houses so fast and then ready
Yeah.
to ship.
Moving from efficiencies to brands,
Mhm.
you've expanded brand categories. So what kind of brands are really performing well for you right now under Cutter and Buck?
Like we talked about a minute ago, 75 months straight of growth in digital orders or integrated orders. Cutter and Buck has just been on a really hot streak for a long time. So I've been with Cutter and Buck for 26 years, if
Yeah.
you can believe it. I can hardly believe it, but this is a really long growth streak for us. So we just committed to a modern, great sportswear several years ago, and just really committed to categories like polos and layering knits and outerwear, and just things that feel like athleisure, and things that feel like they're really ready for your all-day active lifestyle. And it's just worked great. It just really has worked great. Even as we have, during that growth period, we have even dialed back in like more traditional categories like sweaters and woven shirts. Those just got dialed back really through supply chain challenges that I'm sure we can get to in a few minutes. Even with that, we've had tremendous growth, even if we've got
Wow.
categories that are smaller than they used to be. Yeah, layers, things that people can wear over and over again for their work
Yeah.
lifestyle as well as for their active lifestyle. Those are things in the Cutter and Buck brand that have really thrived, and the growth has been tremendous in that. Yeah, and then our Click brand has gone really well as well. It's more in the everyday affordable
Yeah.
essentials for promo and otherwise. That one, we've launched a lot of more premium outerwear into the space, into that.
Hmm.
And so that's been good. All right, premium isn't exactly right. It's more like better outerwear because the pricing
Yeah.
is insanely good. So we're
Yeah. Yeah.
really in a great position with the Cutter and Buck brand as well as with the Click brand. And then coming in 2026, we're actually going to be launching more brands into the US market. So we have the Swedish outdoor brand called Tenson, which is a really gorgeous collection of, now that's premium outerwear. That is truly
Awesome.
premium
Wow.
outerwear. And then also from the Nordics, really like this is going to be the cheapest, quickest elevator pitch. The Nike of the Nordics, which is Craft. Craft's sportswear is a huge sports brand that is part of our New Wave Group family of brands. It has become a juggernaut of a brand in the Nordic and across the European countries. And we're going to be partnering with them to bring Craft into the US market in 2026 as well. So we're really thrilled to. So then we'll have really performance sports, we'll have the active, we'll have the athleisure, we'll have the premium outerwear, we'll have the everyday essentials with Click. So we'll really fill out a really strong brand portfolio over the course of the
That's
next 18
amazing.
months.
Congratulations on those big brand
Well,
launches.
we'll
That's a
see.
big deal.
That's where all the hard
Yeah.
work is, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other thing that's outdoor lifestyle, like premium wear, and like, so I was following someone that I follow a lot of, an influencer, and who was at the Milan fashion show.
Oh,
And he's walking through the Milan fashion show right on video. And he said the most exciting thing happening is in outdoor apparel. And I thought that was kind of an interesting take, right?
yeah,
The outdoor apparel is where some of the most exciting things are happening. So that's become huge growth categories for you, obviously.
it
What is
has.
resonating the most with corporate buyers specifically? What are you seeing resonate with them?
What we're seeing the most is really in like mid layers, where we're like taking from an outdoor influence, taking from an active lifestyle influence that kind of goes into outdoor. That mid layer, you could even include like vests, like wearing vests, kind of a quilted vest or things like
Yes.
that. Just
Yeah.
that's what's just continuing to flow really well because people just wear it. And when we're talking about promotional apparel, you want people to wear it. And these are just the categories that people are wearing
Yeah.
for their lifestyle. And it really translates back and forth to work and to date night and to all these things. I see people in Seattle all the time out on, I want to just quote unquote call them dates, but out in the social life
Yeah.
with our promo wear on. I
Yeah.
see it every day.
Yeah.
You see somebody in a great Rainier vest and it's got their, you name the company logo here, and they're at a great
Yeah.
restaurant They're jumping onto their boat. They're doing their thing. It's like you see it all the time. So isn't that the dream of
Yes.
the business that we're all in? Is getting your
Yeah.
product onto the backs of people who are proud to represent it and proud to
Yeah.
incorporate it into their lifestyle. So that's not going away. That's,
Yep. Yep.
so it's just different flavors of it now coming.
That's so true. Let's talk a little bit about the topic that's been on everybody's mind all year long. And, the scale of Cutter and Buck is significant. So you've got some interesting insight on this. How are current tariffs now, as we record this in basically the first week of July, how is that impacting business, particularly with such a large footprint like you have?
Sure, yeah. We've just been attuned to global trade from our founding, and we've been paying attention to the way the wind is blowing for a long time. Yeah, there's been some surprises this year. The level of surprise to us has been something that we're prepared for. We crack open the playbook and say, okay, where's our next move here and otherwise? I had a challenge this year because I thought we had settled in on tariffs and I committed to holding pricing, and then we just got walloped. And I was like, oh, geez. So I had an embarrassing kind of a moment that felt like we were well protected and then we weren't. And there was some surprises there. So we've been very optimistic about our positioning now moving forward, that we're well positioned with a lot of diversity in our supply chain. We're picky about suppliers. So we work with really great suppliers from all over the world. In the areas that have had the heaviest kind of tariff focused, we've been, lucky, good, or otherwise enough to not be very concentrated there. So that's
Yeah.
helped us. The larger or kind of the broader tariffs, that's going to affect all of us. So if we're still in the branded, production model where we, design, market, and otherwise, but we do use contract manufacturing. So that does call that into kind of question overall. But I
Sure.
see that the supply chain just keeps moving. It keeps adapting to new labor markets and such. And certainly in China per se, like the economy has moved upwards. It's out of really a lot of like apparel production, and they're working on producing electric cars and
Yeah.
and
Yep.
laptops and cell phones and those things. And so the market has shifted into other areas as well. And that's
Yeah.
honestly, that's as old as America. That's been happening
Yeah.
for a
Right.
long time.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. And we're heading into one of the biggest selling seasons, particularly in some of the categories that you sell into
Mhm.
in late third and in fourth quarter. How are you feeling about that with the tariff trade winds and the uncertainty around it? How are you feeling heading into third and fourth quarter?
I feel really great. We've spent the last couple of years really working to shore up our inventory levels and just be really certain
Mm,
that we're able to fulfill as many orders as we possibly can for the holiday. So we've been shoring that up. So again, like good, it's an old fashioned saying, but good, clean living. We've been planning on
yeah.
serving our customers better and better across all channels. So we currently have our highest inventory we've had
Mm,
ever. That's
yeah.
been again like 75 straight months, but we have our highest inventory ever. We are still getting more inventory in for the rest of the year. Just to share, our peak starts like
Yeah.
August 15th. That's like when
Okay.
all like, tons of back to school business starts to happening. NFL really gets
Yeah.
cranking, college football, just and then everyone comes back from vacation on the same at the same time
Yeah.
in the corporate world. So we go from like August 15th until December 15th is our peak. And so we will be fully loaded for that time period in all of our best products, which is really like all of
Okay.
our products now. So we're feeling very good about it. So we're very optimistic. Again, the corporate has remained strong. So that's been very good. And then, what little dips and dabs we see in retail, those get so quickly overcome with, again, back to school business. And
Mm,
just as the holiday period gets upon us, corporate gifting, all of those things really get
yeah.
going. We're still not a big enough player to say, oh, the market share is out. No, there's tons of business out there. And so
Yeah.
when we have the full scale in products, we're ready to go. And I would just mention, this is the first time we've ever been able to use enough intelligence and really starting to use AI. Maybe we go there and starting to use machine learning and
Yep.
stuff to say, look, we have products now that we can sell 10x of its little brother and sister products. And you don't quite know that in more traditional planning methods until you really let the machine learning come in and say, look, if you look at these signals closely enough, you could sell
Mm,
100,000 of these if you have them versus 3 or 4 thousand
yeah.
of something else. So if you have the color, a navy blue one, you could sell 100,000 of them. Next to a cardinal red is, oh, you're only going to sell 6,000 of them. And so the it's really like exponential, which is really exciting. So we have the first time ever, we have a lot of styles that have, or a lot of style colors, we call them materials, style colors that have 30, 40, 50,000 units on the shelf.
Wow. We were going to talk about AI next. And so is that
Yeah.
one area where you're seeing AI? So you had an amazing statement last time we talked, and you said, whatever your last best experience was is now your minimum expectation, right?
Yeah.
So that's the customer's experience. That's customer experience in a
Sure.
nutshell. How do you just mentioned AI is really informing your intelligence in terms of inventory. It sounded like inventory buying and decision making. How else is it impacting the work you're already doing at Cutter and Buck?
I think for us, it's a lot of work that almost goes undone because we can't get to it. If you want to redo all of your product content, it's okay. We've got some new insights. Let's refresh. And it's, oh my gosh, how many SKUs do we have out there? How many syndicated products do we have out there? So some of these things in the digital world, they feel overwhelming because there's such heavy lifts. If you want to say, like a good example is changing your product content. Like, how do you do that? If you install some AI tools to that, it's fast. You can give it an instruction set, and you can, in the course of hours, days, weeks, you can have all of your product content updated with the latest insights that you want. That used to be like, okay, next year, let's plan in our, you know what I mean? So that is super exciting that you just you get better. So your last best is, okay, as soon as we see like a great product description or a great way that's really resonating with our customers, let's have that influence a lot of you just don't have to wait in that. You can just install that work. And like for us, that's where we are. There's lots of companies looking at super exciting things utilizing AI. I think that there's a way that AI can really help our customers with suggestions and all of that. We already had some tools in for that, but we're working behind the scenes looking on that. But I think it's about the work that goes undone, that you can just really get into continuous improvement mode and really be serious about it and not have, again, months to years go by. Like, oh, how come we never, because you just can't get around to it.
Yeah. You can imagine we are so bullish on AI, and and we both have these massive data sets from customer purchasing trends, all kinds of things. It's phenomenal what can be done today, mapping AI to our. How do you see AI really impacting the industry in the future? Is it in this data intel side? Do you see it impacting the sales side? How do you see it moving the needle the most?
Yeah, I think data intelligence first, like we talk about inventory, really planning for how the business is, collecting all of these different signals, which we can't all listen to, just getting that. I think that's huge. In the service side, just getting people the information they need really fast. Like it's just 3 rings on the phone seems like an eternity now. Waiting 4 minutes for an email reply back just feels like an eternity now. So there are some things in there that are really, really plausible. So just, again, reducing friction is a big one. And then out there selling, I don't know, maybe just giving more opportunities for more companies to run integrated programs. Like I think it's like that's the one. How many times has a client, a corporation in our space said, I don't want to reset my program I just spent last year. How about when we can just say, oh, it's no problem. Just give us a couple of indicators and we'll use an AI tool to reset it for you. Like, so cool. To help the sales, right? So that then we've got companies out there with their company stores refreshed and just maintained fresh all the time. And without friction, that feels like an opportunity that we haven't had before, or at least it has felt like a while since the first, online catalog started to be quote unquote easier than a print catalog. So just imagine that online catalog, maybe it takes weeks to months to update. Now that takes minutes to hours to update. That's an opportunity for selling that we haven't had.
Sure. We've got 1 minute left. Sure. I want to ask you this. Now, if I remember right, you came into the business as an intern.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have been running Cutter, you're CEO of Cutter and Buck. That's an amazing story. So we'll link to that old story in case you want to hear Joel's story again, because it's a phenomenal story about your personal growth in this business. But to wrap, what are you reading, listening to? The audio community loves to know what it is you've read lately that's moved you or what's altering your thinking.
Well, I've most prepared for that question from having these other things. But as things were changing over the winter and the tariffs started to be whispered about and some other changes, we went back to some Jim Collins for us, which I'm a huge fan of the Good to Great universe. And our
Same.
executive team went through a Great by Choice again, and just really thinking about leadership and management through more turbulent times of just as things are changing. And so we did 6 weeks of reading, and then boom, we're ready for the tariff things start to be discussed in early April. And I had several people on the team was like, man, thankfully we just read that again. And so just getting to the core of your business. We talked about several changes here with automation, changes with AI, changes with global sourcing and other things, but it's always been changing. Just a reminder to everybody out there.
That's great.
Reminder, it's always changing all the time. So that book was written really post 9/11 about how things have changed so much. So many of us have been through these changes.
That's a great way to end, Joel. Thank you so much. Like that is, if there's one takeaway I've had from talking with many leaders like you, it's that focus on your core.
Yeah.
Because the volatility and the uncertainty will always be there. It may be bigger, it may be smaller, but it'll always be there. Thank you, Joel, for joining us again.
Thank you very much.
This has been, as always,
Robbie,
a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.